Alright, back to the GE Vortalex fan restoration. In parts 1 and 2, I demonstrated the replacement of the head wire and repair of the leads going up into the motor speed coil. And now we need to take the motor apart and then clean it and lubricate it and do the same thing with the oscillator gearbox assembly. And then put it all back together and install another power cord, and we should be good to go. So we'll start on that right now, and hopefully this will be the last installment in the electrical restoration of this fan. Okay, here we are with the front cover off, and this is a good time for me to mention that when you take one of these apart, you want to pay particular attention to any washers that might be slid over the motor shaft. That goes for the front and rear. And you don't want to lose any of those washers, and you want to make sure you put them all back like they came. And in some cases, as in this case, there's also a washer that runs along on the front of the shaft here, so you'll need to pay close attention to all of that. And here's our oil cup that contains a wick that is responsible for supplying oil to the front bearing. And as you can see, this is all gunked up and cruddy, so this is all going to have to be taken apart, cleaned, and soaked to try to get all that old gunk out of there. And look at this globbed up mess on the front oil wick. What you see here is a combination of 60 years of lubricant mixed with 60 years of dirt, and over time it just forms some kind of sticky goo crap. It's no longer oil anymore. So this is going to have to be soaked and cleaned thoroughly. And this was all clogged up and gunked up. Now you can actually see light through the holes there. Before, that was clogged up with oil and dirt, so there was no way any lubrication could cycle through the bearing. And here's the oscillator gearbox assembly exposed. And look at all that crud down in there, grease combined with 60 years of dirt. And every bit of that's going to have to come out. So we'll dig out what we can and then wash the rest out. It's just going to be a long process. But every bit of that has to come out and be replaced with fresh lubricant. I've dug as much grease and crud as I can out of the gearbox. And unfortunately, the contact cleaner or the alcohol wasn't doing very much good at getting the rest of it out. So what I have done, and this may be the wrong thing to do, I don't know, but I've soaked the inside of the gearbox down with a paint thinner, and it appears to be breaking the stuff loose. I have done the same thing with the oil wick, and hopefully I'll be able to salvage the original oil wick. If not, I'll have to find a replacement or make a replacement from something. But I can already tell you that this gear here is already freed up. Before, it was so stuck you could just barely turn it. And now it's moving real free, so I'm going to let this sit overnight and let as much of that grease break down as possible, and then I'll empty it out, dry it out real good, and we'll apply some new lubrication. Okay, it's Tuesday and we're back on the fan, and this gearbox has been soaking in paint thinner for roughly 15 hours. As has this oil wick, and you can see it's nice and black now. So we're going to empty this crap out and see how much of the residue is still left. Hopefully not much. And then we'll re-lubricate this thing. And here's all the old dissolved crud that we dumped off into the container here. And we still had some more left that wasn't quite ready to come out, so I'm letting it soak again in some more paint thinner. I'll let it soak for a couple of hours, and it shouldn't take as long as it did last time, and then we'll clean this out and do one final cleanup on it, and hopefully it will be ready for the new lubrication by then. Okay, we've gotten as much of the old grease and crap out of the gearbox as we can, and now it's time to put some more lubrication in here. Okay, got some new grease put in the gearbox. Unfortunately, not enough grease. I didn't have enough grease to fill it as full as I'd like to, but there's enough in there for testing purposes. Okay, here we are put back together. The only thing I need to do is replace the oil wick. The other one was just too cruddy to save, but I've got the bearings oiled up enough for a test. So here we are, on high. And I didn't film the initial test where this thing was so powerful that it blew my bottle of alcohol and 4 parts off the bench. Off. And to make it oscillate, you just turn this back knob all the way in. There we are on low. Go, my 1947 or 48 GE 12-inch Vortalex oscillating fan. Almost ready to go. Okay, thanks for watching, and more to come later. Just for the heck of it, we'll check the spin down time in non-oscillating mode versus oscillating mode and see if there's a difference. But I can tell you that it's a little better than what it was before we cleaned it and lubricated it. So there you go, my GE Vortalex fan. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with some more good stuff later.